So you want to start a YouTube channel. You want to have your shot at becoming an influencer, becoming famous, or at least just getting out there onto the internet and doing your own thing, having a bunch of fun. But you're not exactly sure where you should begin. What should you do? There's all these different channels. They've all done their own things. Some have succeeded, some haven't. And you're like, well, let me just get some great advice right here. Well, you've come to the right place, dear viewer, because I, Lars Jensen of Camille's Harem, I'm here today to give you some advice. Some very much needed advice if you want to start your own YouTube channel. This is advice that comes from working with people who don't just do YouTube, but are actually part of the entertainment industry, of the news industry, of film and video making. And so what I'm about to share with you are some of the tricks of the trade, some things that you really won't hear anywhere else unless you go and you speak to some veterans. So buckle on up because I've got 15 points for you. 5 for creating your own channel, 5 if you are a writer who wants to get started on YouTube, and 5 final points just for really anyone who is thinking of getting into just having fun here on the internet. Hi there everyone, Lars here from Camille's Harem, not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers, because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And let's just dive right into this. The 5 top tips that you need to know if you want to launch your own YouTube channel, if you're serious about this. These are the 5 things that you need to know. Number 1, know your audience. I do not care if you want to get into what kinds of cameras should I have, what kinds of microphones, what kinds of editing software, the things that I want to do. All of that is secondary. In fact, most of that you've already determined. The most important thing that you need to know is, who is my audience? When I studied filmmaking and doing commercials and videos and everything like that, we would lose so many points. Our teacher would actually dock us down almost an entire grade if we would forget this one cardinal rule. The very first thing you should know before any project is this: who is my audience? The reason why I say this is because knowing who your audience is will actually determine a lot of the things for you. What kind of quality are you aiming for? What kind of spoofy things, fun things, intelligent things, spooky things, what have you? All of the bells and whistles are actually determined more or less by your audience. Because if you want those views, if you want those delicious YouTube views, you need to know who you are even appealing to. Who are you speaking to? When I make videos here on YouTube, I always think about one audience in particular. I want to reach out to novice authors. I want to give them something that will help to inform them, inspire them, encourage them, whatever. And then I have a secondary audience most of the time, which is, hey, there's this anime, there's this book, there's this writer, there's this show, there's this movie, there's this idea that I know appeals to other people, so I am going to also speak to them. And it creates kind of a little bit of a juggling act on my end, but by knowing these audiences right here, that really helps inform me on what kind of script should I write, what kind of footage, what kinds of things do I need in order to make any video work. But our core audience here on Camille's Harem has always been the novice authors out there in the world, and we have been able to connect with those people, and that's some of the most fun that we've had here on our channel, is being able to connect with novice authors. If you don't have an audience in mind that you wish to connect with, you will never be able to connect with other people in a meaningful way, and it will quickly destroy any of your efforts to have any sort of impact or longevity here on the platform. Tip number 2, time management. I cannot stress this enough. You need to budget your time. You need to set aside time for recording, time for editing, time for speaking with the people who interact with your videos, time for a break, time for other things in your life. If you cannot budget your time, if you cannot give things the proper time that they need in order for it to work out, your projects, your endeavors will fail. You need to budget your time. You need to take the time to look at what you do on a day-to-day basis. What can you dedicate towards these projects? What can you dedicate towards YouTube? And you need to make sure that you're not allocating too much time or too little time to it, because that will cause you to denigrate, to fail at other things that you need to do in your life. Life is not just about YouTube, and there are some people who definitely dedicate themselves way too much to this platform. Budget your time. Tip number 3, be positive and respectful to the people who comment on your videos. I don't care how disrespectful they are to you. I've dealt with so many trolls. And the thing is this, getting into an argument on the internet is very, very rarely ever going to change someone else's mind. And I don't care if you are the best debater, if you have the best arguments, if you have the best evidence in mind, and at your fingertips, very few people are going to listen to you, especially if you are being disrespectful to them in the comments or in the content of your videos. Be respectful. Respect is given, and that is how you earn it. You don't just earn it by simply existing. You get respect by giving respect. This is something that I tried to teach to my students a lot. You have no idea how many teenagers were all like, well, I want to be respected. And I would ask, do you give respect to other people? And they'd be like, no, because they have to earn it. I'm like, that's not the way that this goes. If you want respect, you have to give respect, even to the people who don't deserve it. And sometimes some of the most respectful things you can do is being indifferent and silent, especially to people who are trolls. Again, there are so many trolls who come around our videos sometimes. And I've just learned that you just be silent with it. If you need to, you remove a comment. Or if you need to address someone, address them in a very diplomatic, very kind, very open-minded way. And you'd be surprised what kinds of great interactions you can have with people. And there are sometimes trolls who will actually turn around and become your best friends, your best fans, because of how you treated them. And for instances where you realize, look, I will never make any headway with these people, again, one of the most respectful things you can do is to decline to lower yourself to their level. Respect is given, and thereby it is earned. Tip number 4, and this might seem a little bit low. A lot of people like at TED Talks will probably put this as tip number 1 and tip number 2, but no, remember this. Number 1, your number 1 rule is always remember who your audience is. Know who your audience is. So therefore, tip number 4 is this. Do this work because you are passionate about it. You want to make videos. You want to talk about the things you want to talk about. You want to show the things that you want to show. You want to do the things that you want to do. You need to be passionate about this, because doing things on YouTube requires a lot of time. It requires a lot of dedication. It will at times bleed you dry. And if you cannot remain passionate about what you're doing, then why are you doing it? You're going to start wasting your time. You could end up hating something you love so much because you are not passionate enough about it. And that might seem like a bit of a paradox, but it is absolutely true. It is very possible to fall out of love with something that you really enjoy if you stretch yourself out too much. Again, this comes a little bit to time management, but being passionate about stuff allows you to be like, okay, I can give this a little bit more time. I can do a little bit more. And also because I'm passionate about this and I don't want to mess this up, I know when I need to take breaks. Passion actually leads you to doing things correctly. If you are not doing things wisely, you're just trying to capitalize on a fad and you're really not being passionate. Passion really brings out true dedication, hard work, and perseverance. It brings out intelligence and the desire to learn. If you cannot be passionate about doing this here on YouTube, whatever it is you want to do, whatever your endeavor is, it will not last very long. I've seen so many channels, so many endeavors, so many bright-eyed, bushy-tailed people jump into this profession, jump into this hobby, go out and do this, and then for them to fail. One of the biggest examples might just be Brie Larson, who's like, yeah, I'm going to have a YouTube channel. And you know what? She came in with the skill, with the crew, with the money, with the time. She had everything set up for her to succeed, and her channel ultimately failed. Why? Because she was not passionate about being a YouTuber. My last of my first 5 tips, the things that you need to know, the things you need to do if you want to launch your own channel is this. Have fun. Fun is a little bit different than passion right here. Passion is that driving force that allows you to do what you need to do. But fun is enjoying what you are doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you need a break, you need to reevaluate, or you might need to shake things up a bit. Do you. Having fun is where you discover yourself. Having fun is where you do these things here on YouTube. Why? Because you want to. If you look at the vast history of Camille's Harem here on our channel, or also on over at our podcast, there are episodes and there are videos that have gotten so little traffic and traction. But you know what? We still kept on going. Why? Because we are having fun. It is so much fun to be here and to do what we do. It really, truly is a blast. Oh boy, it can be draining, but it is fun. And the moment you're not having any fun is the moment you need to pause, reevaluate, and then get back to work. If you can't have any fun, then you know what? Step away. That's totally fine. You are not determined by your value here on YouTube. You are determined by yourself, by how much enjoyment and fulfillment you get out of what you do. And if you at any point aren't having any fun here on this platform, then take a step back. That's okay, because you need to have fun. Now then, 5 tips for all of you authors out there who are thinking about also jumping onto YouTube and creating your own channel, either to talk about the books that you're passionate about, or to try to advertise your own books, or to do like what we do here and encourage other authors. For whatever reason that you get here onto YouTube, come on and join the party. But here are 5 things that you novice authors need to know when it comes to creating your own YouTube channels. Number 1, this job will stretch you. If you're already having a hard time writing as many words as you need to write per day, if you've got so many works in progress that you're up to your eyeballs in them, trying to start a YouTube channel might be a little bit too much, because it will stretch you. It requires so much time and dedication to make it work. That's something that you need to know. This job will stretch you. Number 2, it is hard to market yourself. I've seen authors out here on YouTube being like, I started my own YouTube channel so that way I could promote my books, but my books aren't selling really well. Why is it that I'm not able to connect with people? Oh boy, there are entire classes and business regimens and programs all out there to help people with selling their product. And you know what? Even if you go through all those classes and do all those things, you still might not sell anything, because there's timing and luck required in having a profitable business. It is hard to market yourself. So I would say, make sure that you are here doing what it is that you want to do on YouTube, having fun, doing your deal, and just realize that there are moments when you can market, maybe sometimes that you won't, and that you're not going to be able to immediately sell what you want to sell here on this channel, or on this platform. And if what you really want to do on YouTube is to sell your books, then make sure that that is exactly what you're dedicating yourself to. Again, know your audience, know who you are pitching your books to, and also know the size of your audience and who might actually be there on YouTube. There's a whole lot involved with that. And to that end, tip number 3, be confident in yourself, no matter what it is that you're doing. Yes, your very first few videos are going to be awkward. They're going to be weird. You know what? That goes for everyone. Continue going forward. Be confident in yourself. And tip number 4, be yourself. Don't change yourself to be some other online persona. I know that there's so many people out there who do that, but living that kind of double life is, again, incredibly draining on someone. I'd say this: be yourself online. It doesn't excuse that you should be disrespectful. Oh, no. Remember, come back to my point from earlier. You have to give respect in order to have respect. But be yourself. Have fun here. And that's my 5th point for you guys. Again, have fun. Have fun doing this here as an author, because again, you are taking time away from writing to be here on this platform. So if you're going to be eating up so much of your time to be here on YouTube, have fun with it. Enjoy your time here. If you're not enjoying your time being an author on YouTube, but you're finding way more fulfillment in writing, then take a step back from YouTube. You don't have to do this. You can have way more fulfillment, way more fun by writing. But if you can have fun here on YouTube and have fun while writing, then this is the place for you. My final 5 tips of things that you should know. Number 1, Do your best with whatever it is that you're doing, but not every video needs to be a masterpiece. And it's as simple as that. Do your best, but not everything needs to be a masterpiece. If you're constantly working to make the perfect video, I guarantee you this, your perfect video, even if it is 100% truly perfect, will not always get you all the views and accolades that you want, or that your channel needs. A channel needs to have consistent work, and it needs to be good in order to keep people's attention. So what you need to do is you need to do the best that you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because otherwise you're going to be spending way too much time seeking perfection and not getting it. My second tip in this regard is this. Some videos will surprise you, both the good and the bad. And the reason why I say this is because you should actually really take heart for some of those videos that you don't believe or realize at first are going to do remarkably well. Like for instance, the Ichiruki analysis video that I did a while back is like the little engine that could. It just keeps going. It's incredible how many people keep coming back to it, how many people have commented on it. It's pretty fantastic. It's not the most popular video on our channel by far, and yet it continues to do well. And that was a real surprise. That was a video that I was like, look, there's so much I want to say about Ichiruki, but I just need to get this off my chest, do the best I can with this video. It's not going to be perfect. People are going to lambast this. And yet it did so well, and it continues to do well. And that's surprising, and you should enjoy those surprises. But then you should also, when the nasty surprise hits, not be discouraged when some of your best videos don't do very well. For instance, I put together a video earlier this year about the war on modern mythology. I actually did my research. I'm someone who's uniquely qualified to talk about the subject because of my professional training and educational training in the matters of entertainment, history, myth, and propaganda. And yet that video has done abysmally compared to so many other videos that we've done this year. And that was sad and shocking, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that it's a bad video. It just means it wasn't well received. So you learn from that and you continue to press forward. It's what you got to do. Number 3, be open to others' opinions. Read through the comments that come to your video. Don't spend your entire day reading comments. It's so easy to get obsessed with this stuff and just be stuck on YouTube debating and talking with other people. You should read others' comments and you should be open to their opinions. Learn from them. Take to heart what they're saying, both negative and positive, and see what you can do to incorporate that feedback into your videos and become a better YouTuber. It's hard, but it's worth it. Number 4, do not be consumed by the numbers. Again, it is so easy to just stare at the numbers at your home board and just be all like, oh, I got 100 views in this past hour. Oh, I'm doing so well. And other times you're like, I only got 2 views. 2 views? What is going on here? And then you just ride this crazy roller coaster that's so addictive, and yet it just eats up your time. Do not be consumed by the numbers. And to that end right here, just know this. You're not going to make a whole lot of money here on YouTube. This past year thus far, we've averaged out just barely over $30 a month in terms of revenue, and some of our videos have done really well. But that's just the way that YouTube is. So if you're in this for the numbers, either for money or for views and for clicks, well, you might not get it, and it's very easy to obsess over it, and that can destroy you. So please, do not get focused on the numbers. Do not get consumed by them. And my 15th point in total, it is once again, have fun. If you aren't having fun, you need to do something that is fun, whether that be getting away from YouTube or shaking things up here on YouTube and doing something different. So one of the things I enjoy about being a YouTuber and as someone whose audience is talking to novice authors, there's so much to talk about. I don't have to get bogged down in the particulars of writing. I can talk about video games. I can talk about movies. I can talk about cartoons, about anime, about live action shows. I can talk about authors. I can talk about personal experiences that have helped me in my writing. There's so much to talk about. Every one of those subjects can be fun for a time, and I don't have to get bogged down in just that one thing. And then I can shake it up and do something else, which is fun. Have fun, because if you aren't having any fun, you're not going to enjoy it here on this platform. So those are my tips for those of you who wish to become YouTubers. I hope that that's helpful. Again, there's so much else that you can learn about the actual technicalities of how you should make your videos and everything, but I honestly feel like a lot of that is going to be stuff that you discover for yourself as you develop your own personal style. Instead, it is very important to understand yourself, understand your audience, and focus on those things, because if you can't focus and speak to your audience, and if you can't focus on yourself and take care of yourself, then whatever your endeavor is here on YouTube, even if you have a smash hit breakout video that is wonderful, if you can't focus on your audience and you can't take care of yourself, then it won't last. It will all fall apart and you'll just be a flash in the pan. And I would hate to see that happen to any creative, because that's not fair. That's not fun. You deserve the best that you can possibly be, and other people deserve the best that you can possibly give them. So that's what you should do. And, well, those are my thoughts from a novice author here on YouTube. If you like what I've had to say here in this diatribe, please let me know. Also, let me know if you think that any of my advice is totally off base. That'd be great too. But if you'd like to support us here, please check out the books that we've published. There's the marketing right there. There are some amazing books that we've released recently. You should definitely check out Monarch Mercenaries and Notice Me, Send Pie. Both are great books. Links for them are in the description below. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us on this amazing adventure that we call writing. And until the next video, y'all, tschüss.